Oh, hello Scorpio. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Scorpio is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free, does not cost anything. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Scorpio, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. We start with a Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is all about the giving and receiving of love and affection. This is about how we are kind of passionately pursuing that which holds the highest priority in our lives. This is a really great card. This could be talking about an older male energy in your life as well. Now we need some context around this to see what's truly going on here. We've got a Five of Cups. We've got the Lust or Strength card underneath you. You've got the Death card behind you. And the Death card is your superpower card, so we always welcome its presence into the reading with our fancy bell. The Death card is the card that rules the sign of Scorpio. Okay? That is your superpower card. So this is a very special reading for you. I think that this is, there's the Six of, and there's, I feel like this is you, really letting go of the past. I feel that you have done a lot of soul searching. I feel that you have done a lot of kind of karmic work, a lot of untangling of these knots of karma. I feel like you've recently been through kind of a spiritual purge. Yeah, and maybe even a life purge, emotional purge, and you're ready for new. You're ready for love. You're confident about the future. You're ready to pursue this passion. Five of Cups, right? You're ready to you're ready to risk disappointment. The biggest disappointment is going to be to not do this, right? The biggest regret is going to a life that has not been lived, right? So the Five of Cups is kind of saying, you know what, I'm not worried about the pleasant or unpleasant day-to-day emotions. Yeah, some days are going to be rough and difficult, and I'm going to be tired and sick or sad. Other days I'm going to be on cloud nine, right? But I'm pursuing my passion in life. I'm doing what I'm meant to do. You're following the star. Okay, this is extraordinary. You're being supported by Spirit in this bowl shape of these three cards here. And I think you're understanding how to deal with disappointment, especially when other people don't behave the way we would like them to. That's not a reflection of who you are. It's not a reflection of anything that you've done. If this is about giving and receiving love, this is you expressing your love for anything, person, place, a thing, a path, a purpose. And if you don't get that love back, that's okay. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep doing what I do. No skin off my back, right? And so this is really, I think, seems like a very enlightened way to go through the world. You're trying not to let the negative energy or those, the unrequited or unreciprocated energy really bother you. You're just moving forward. You're just going to keep moving on, okay? I think this is a really, really good thing for you. And I think that this is a risk. I think that you're saying, you know what? The only thing that would hurt more than a Five of Cups is not trying, right? So this is a risk that's going to bring major reward for you. Have faith. Have faith in yourself. Have faith in what this purpose is. And have faith that, it's always a risk of being disappointed, right? There's always a risk that we're not going to succeed or something isn't going to work out or that there's not going to be some harmony. Here we have a Knight of Swords. We have that Seven of Pentacles. We have a Nine of Wands. And there is the Sun. There's the major reward. There it is. That's the outcome here. So it's worth the risk. It's worth the risk of being disappointed. It's worth the risk of, maybe telling the other person how you feel. Maybe they won't feel the same. Okay, well, you know what? At least I didn't leave that mystery on the table and never find out, right? So we have to be willing to risk it for the biscuit, right? We have to be willing to be rejected from another person, from our path, from life, from this challenge, from this thing I'm trying to do, this job I'm trying to get. You're applying for a new job maybe, right? Or you're trying to get the promotion. Well, you got to be willing to face rejection or face disappointment if you're going to get the gold. You got to be willing to lose the race if you're going to have any chance of winning the race. You're not going to get the promotion if you don't apply for it. And if you don't risk rejection, you don't tell the other person how you feel, well then yeah, you're going to avoid the 5 of Cups, sure. But you're going to avoid something that is way, way more intense. This isn't just a 6 of Cups, right? This is everything. This is the attainment of, this makes it worth it. This is the investment or the risk involved in the investment. Let's say this is the investment. This is the risk involved, but this is the reward. Well, it seems like we can handle this. If this is going to happen, well, okay, fine, whatever. But this happens, it's going to change everything. Okay? So you're being told by Spirit to have faith that the risk is going to bring you major rewards. I think we're going to be able to avoid too much of the 5 of Cups, and I think this is going to work out exceptionally well for you. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down right here with our little horse, Mr. Ed. I am still actually a little horse myself. No pun intended. Well, actually, it's intended. If you have a prediction for that card, please put it in the comments down below. Okay. By the way, this is casual day on Dove and Serpent Tarot, so I hope you're in your jammies. All right, let's look around the room here. We have our major, 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 and major. Letting go of the past, realizing that the only way forward is forward, that nothing is going to change unless we are changing, realizing that the Death card is the card of change. This is the nature of nature. This is the only constant in the universe is change. This is the fundamental force of the universe, change, right? So we have to be in accord with this. We have to let go of the past. We have to purge what's no longer serving us. Purge all the past, disappointments too, right? And I think that's what you've done. And of course you need courage. You got to be in control of your appetites. You got to believe that you're capable of doing something. And you have to be able to do it with all the energy of which you're capable, but also in a very controlled way. It's kind of like you got this rocket ship, but if you don't have any way to control all that power, all that force, you're going to crash. It's going to be bad news, right? So this is a tremendous force of which you're capable, but you're also very good at sort of harnessing this and directing it in a thoughtful and responsible and balanced. That's why we've got our 6 of Wands as well, in a very balanced way. So, in other words, you're eager, you want this more than anything in the world, but you're able to control that appetite. You're able to control that hunger and do things in a very calm but powerful way. Sometimes, especially with these two, is the idea that strength does not always need a display, right? That sometimes the strongest energy never has to really be shown off, never has to be demonstrated. It's a certain mark of power when we don't have to show our power. We don't have to make a performance of it, right? The real strength is in our ability to restrain our power. Okay. And of course, you've got your star energy going forward. I think you are very focused on your destiny, on your path. You can feel the pull of the North Star for you. I think that you've gone through a period of doubt. I think that sometimes we as humans can't always see the north, but the compass can. That spiritual GPS kind of knows where we're going. And so we're trying to trust in this, trying to trust in our star, and trying to follow that destiny, to fulfill whatever potential we have in this particular situation. I don't know exactly what you're doing. This could be a business endeavor. It could be a physical challenge for you. It could be an emotional sort of challenge. It could be that we're telling that person we love them, how we feel about them. It could be that we're taking that big risk on our career or this creative project, or we're going to go do the stand-up comedy for the first time ever, that we are kind of, we've got the courage now to go do it. We've done some work on ourselves. We've reached a certain point where we feel that we're ready to follow this passion. This doesn't have to be romance. Okay, put your pitchforks away, Scorpio. It could be taking a chance on what we feel is our true love, risking rejection and disappointment and sadness for the sake of this awesome reward of this enlightenment. This is absolute success here. This is kind of this is the miracle happening. Yeah, a lot of really good energy here today. This is extraordinary. So we've got our major. We've got fire and fire. We've got water and water. We've got a little bit of air and a little bit of earth. This is really, really good. So with the death card behind you, I do feel like you went through a period of purgation where you, I think you processed a lot of your history. I think that you untangled some karmic knots in yourself. Yeah. And I think you've made a lot of progress to the point where now you feel like you're ready to pursue this passion and pursue this love of yours. I feel like you're kind of as closest to your true self as you've ever been. And you realize that, we sort of have to follow the intuition. We have to follow the star. And when the star says it's time to move forward and to keep growing and changing and evolving and transforming our lives, we can't just be stuck in the past. We can't say, well, I've already changed. I'm done changing now, right? No, we realize that change is an ongoing process, and we're trying to live in accord with that so that we're always learning, always growing, always processing our experiences, always recycling and reclaiming energy, right? And that's kind of what the death card is too, right? It's like you're the great recycler. There's no experience that was not useful. There's no emotion that did not serve a purpose. There was no event and no thought that did not have an origin, right? And so we're really trying to let go of any kind of guilt, any kind of regret or shame, especially. We're trying not to be stuck in any situation or any event or any kind of trauma from the past. We're trying to realize that everything has happened for a reason, that we are who we are right now because of every experience we've ever had. Okay? That we are, we're kind of putting ourselves in a contextual relationship with the world. And I think you've reached a point where you said, it's time for me to take who I am, take what I am right now, and sort of offer it to the world as a gift. And that's what I see with the Knight of Cups too. It's kind of like, are you giving or are you receiving in this card? Are we given that bowl of crab curry here? Are we giving it away, or did somebody give it to us and we're taking it in, right? I think it's both. I think that we are realizing that we have something inside of us that we have to give to the world. It's our gift. And that we also, we're kind of, we're asking for something. We want to receive this something. And because of the Five of Cups here, we're willing to put our hand out to accept something from the universe. It may not be what we thought. It may not be there. It may not come back to us. It's kind of like I'm putting myself out there, and I don't know what's going to come back to me. I'm giving love out. I don't know if love's going to come back. We can pretty much say that it will, right? Especially with our sun card here at the end. But the idea is that we're not doing something just to get something in return. That we're pursuing this path, we're expressing our feelings, we're giving this gift, we're showing our love, we're being open, or we're being vulnerable, or we're being expressive. You're taking the chance, you're going to go get up on stage and do the stand-up comedy, or whatever it is, not expecting anything in return. And that makes it much easier for us to go out and do that. Let's not go too far with this, right? Where we're kind of, I'm getting up on stage, I'm going to do my jokes, and I'm expecting everybody to hate it. And then, and of course, when everybody does hate it, I'll be like, yeah, see, I was right. Everybody hated it. Or if we're going up and we have the impression that I know what's going to happen, I know it's going to be miserable, then it's going to be miserable. If we're saying, well, I'm going to give my gift out to the world, and I know that people aren't going to like it, I know that this person's going to reject me, then it's almost as if they can feel that. It's almost as if the audience knows that you're trying to bomb, So we don't want to do that either. We don't want to set up any expectation for ourselves, because I feel like that's going to be the vibe that we give off. So let's not expect the worst. Let's not feel as if we know that this is going to be a heartbreak, right? Let's give what we're giving. Let's do what we're doing, or pursue what we're pursuing with no expectation. Okay? Let's do it the very best that we are capable of doing it. And whatever is coming back to us as a result of that, que sera, sera. Right? And I think it's going to be extraordinary. I think it really is going to be. And now it's kind of hard for you not to go into this situation feeling confident, feeling like I'm hoping for the best, I'm expecting to be disappointed, but I'm really going to put my best effort into it. So I feel like there's a confidence here. I feel like that. I feel your confidence is boosting. There's a little bit of an ego enlargement going on here, and that's okay. Sometimes we need that, right? Sometimes when we're sort of facing the potential for disappointment and rejection between us and our goal, and the star becomes our goal. Look how close we get to the goal here, right? Because the sun is a star. I'm sure you knew that. But I like to point it out that these two cards are the same. This one's far away. This one is so close you can feel it, right? Any closer, it's gonna singe off your eyebrows. But here, it feels like the goal is still very far away. And it seems as if there's this sadness that's separating you from your goal. To not be pursuing this path is more heartbreaking than trying and failing, right? We got the card of the little F failures over here. So this is what I see here, right? I see this sadness in the space in between, right? The space between. Wonderful song, Dave Matthews Band. I did hear that the drummer Carter is a fan of the channel here, but I don't know. I heard that from a friend, but shout out to Carter, one of my favorite drummers. Anyway, so there's a pain of separation here. Not being on this path, not following this destiny of yours, whether this is involving a romantic relationship or your stand-up comedy or your art or your pets or your garden or your career or whatever it might be. Not being on the path, not following this, that's what brings us the disappointment and the sadness. Okay? We would rather risk it all. We'd rather encounter the failure over here, the Seven of Pentacles. We'd rather encounter this and have the confidence that every time I come up against the wall, I'm able to push it out a little bit. I'm getting closer and closer and closer to my goal. So the star, otherwise, it feels like it's a distant goal. It's way out there. It's way out there, and I don't know if I'll ever get to it. Feels like it's still a very far away thing. But being on the path, we're not going to get here unless we start going in this direction, Every step we take is getting us closer and closer and closer and closer. And if we're doing this and we feel that it is our destiny, if we feel that we're living in accord with something deep in our soul, then this is going to be a very meaningful journey. It will not always be pleasant. If this is a relationship, right? You know something about relationships, right? They're not always pleasant. It's not always a honeymoon. It's not always fun and games. But it is meaningful and it is worth it. And if this is truly worth it, then we can do the ups and downs. We can have the good days, bad days, the sickness, the health, the richer, the poorer, right? Because it's worth it. It's meaningful to us. It has value. We are living in accord with our true selves and with our soul here. Now, Path of the Serpent, this is, well, if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, please do. Again, it's totally free. All right. Okay. Let me know what you think about casual date as well. We've got a Knight of Swords as your general energy. This is really when we are, it's kind of like our thoughts are going in this direction too. Then both of the Knights are thinking of the future. They're projecting this, it's the heart and the mind that are just kind of like flowing in this direction. It's like we're caught in this tractor beam from the star. This is all we can think about. This is all we care about. This is all that is on our minds. The heart and the mind, right? Thinking, feeling, swords and cups. Streaming toward the future. All your feelings, all your thoughts are flowing in this particular direction, straight toward the star. And so I feel like this is like your heart is made up, your mind is made up, you know, and I feel like we're mobilizing our energy and we're pursuing this future. We have kind of, you know, we have a goal in mind, or we have a path kind of in mind. Maybe we don't see the goal exactly, but we see the path, okay? And in the environment, in terms of your relationships, you have the Seven of Pentacles. I think that you're somebody who has, I think you've lived and you've loved and you've had your heart broken. You've been sad before. I think that you have had relationships with people, places, things, jobs, careers, purposes, romantically, platonically, business stuff. You've had things not quite go your way, right? This is Seven of Pentacles, failure. Little f, failures. You've had things that didn't work out. I'm assuming that you did because I'm assuming you're human, right? And we've all tried to do things that didn't quite make it. I've tried to hit that home run in Little League and I never did. I tried to slide into second base that one time and I didn't make it and I scraped up my knee. Still got the scars from it actually. So we've all tried to do things and it didn't work out. We've all have been in some kind of relationship and it didn't work out and we sort of went our own way. I'm sure that you've maybe broken up with someone has broken up with you. We've had a friend and they're not our friend anymore, right? I think we all have been in those sort of places, okay? So we kind of know that this is the way life goes, but you know, to think, well, I don't want to ever get my heart broken, so then I'll never get into a relationship. I will never fall in love. And that way, I never have to have a failed relationship, right? So this is kind of like a failure to even get started. So this kind of becomes, the recognition of, I think it's an education, honestly. I think it's part of what we're letting go of. I think we're letting go a lot of, and we're learning from them too, right? It's an education. We learn what didn't work in some of these relationships. And maybe this is a particular relationship or this is life in general. We're never going to know what to do if we don't understand what not to do. Things did not work. And if we try to block that out or never fail at anything, we're never going to grow. And that sort of negates everything I said about the Death card, right? So I think you're somebody that you get encouraged by finding the edges of something, by finding the boundaries, by finding like where something went wrong. You know, it's kind of like we're going to test the thing. You know, I saw this, you know those old Samsung phones? They're not old. They're the Z Fold ones, the kind that, the foldable phone. I used to have one. And I used to watch this video on YouTube where it was showing like the stress testing, and they just had this phone in some kind of a robot machine thing that was just folding it like 250,000 times until the screen finally snapped. You know, look up that video. It's so funny. That's kind of like what the Seven of Pentacles is. We've got to figure out where the breaking point is. We got to find out, like, everything was working up till which point. Where was the moment where we kind of said, okay, that's it. It didn't work. I'm out of here. Or where was that? Where can we identify that small f failure? It's not a big F failure. It doesn't mean I'm a failure. It means that I did something 250,000 times until the screen snapped. Okay, we have to be paying attention so we know, was it 250,000 times or was it like 3 times? Okay, so it really is about learning from this, like quality testing something. And we have to know where it diminishes into an unacceptable level of quality. So we can say, okay, well, that's kind of where my limit is. And now I need to sort of work on that, work in that area. Okay, now I know where I need to improve. It's kind of, we don't go to the gym and we'll never find out like where we are strong, but where we need to put in kind of more effort, And so we get somebody that has zero experience and they just think they know everything about everything. They go to the gym and they really don't have a very good time because they've never struggled with anything, right? So I think the Seven of Pentacles anyway now, in terms of your relationships, it's knowing what your acceptable level of quality is. You know what I mean? Like, what are the things that you're not going to put up with? 250 folds and then the screen cracks, that's okay. 250,000 times, I think that'll be all right. I think that's okay. It'll last a long time still, Samsung is not a sponsor of this channel, but they could be if they wanted to. We have to know where our boundaries are, okay? Our non-negotiables, our oh no-nos, right? And that's what this is all about. And the Nine of Wands in the obstacle position, I don't feel like this is the obstacle really, because the I guess if there is an obstacle, it's kind of feeling that we're not strong enough to really to push through the obstacles, that we're not strong enough to sort of identify where the weak spots are and really push past them, that we're not strong enough to see where we need to improve things a little bit, right? So that the thing can fold more times. But the Nine of Wands really is showing that if we're connected with this sense of purpose, we have all the strength we need. It might be the feeling as if we don't have what it takes. I don't have the energy. I don't have the stamina. I don't have the strength to do this. When it starts getting tough, how am I going to keep going? What am I going to do on those days where I'm just too tired to get out of bed? Well, I think the Nine of Wands is saying that when we really are connected with our sense of purpose and that real spiritual level, the energy will be there when we need it. Okay? It's just a way of like, I don't know, there's something, the energy rises to the occasion when it really needs to. If this is something that is truly meant for us, the motivation will be there, the willpower will be there. And you're the kind of person that if you make a commitment, you're going to follow through. So it's kind of like you're not going to promise anything, you're not going to commit to anything unless you really feel that this is right for you and this is part of your path, part of your destiny. And then once you do, there's no stopping you. Once you make that promise, you're going to do whatever it takes to figure out where the failures were, right? Where the integrity was kind of lost, where things started to kind of crack and fall apart, and you're going to be able to figure that out. And that's going to put you in touch with your goal, whether these are relationship goals, career goals, physical fitness goals, stand-up comedy goals, I don't know. But you got to go out there and push yourself as hard as you can until you really break down and fail, because then you know, okay, that was my fail point. That was what I could do, and I couldn't do it anymore. So it's like you're writing jokes or something, right? You kind of, you stretch yourself as far as you can, then you realize, okay, that didn't work with the audience. I'm going to pull it back a little bit, and I'm going to work on that area really close to the edge, and then I'm going to keep expanding and growing. And I feel that you're getting very, very close to the success here. The risk is going to bring you such just major rewards here, okay? Have faith in yourself. I think it's going to be extraordinary. Let's look at the mystery card. What we might need here is some better water energy. Let's see the emotional reward here. Let's see a Six of Cups. Let's know that we're going to have really good, motivating, reinforcing days. You know, let's say we're going to have fun doing this. We're going to have days not where we bomb and we learn something, but days where we kill and we're overjoyed and we're celebrating and we're on top of the world. Let's have that cloud nine kind of feeling. Yeah. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Here we go. Well, it's a Five of Swords. Okay. Five of Swords, thinking and feeling, right? We have thinking and feeling here. Long-term plans, the journey that I'm going to take because my heart and my mind are in it to win it. And here we have the heart and the mind that are preparing to handle the challenges. Okay? And so what we see right now is the realization that there will be days where we're not motivated. There will be days where we feel sad. There will be days where we just kind of feel like, I just need a good day to happen, you know. This is kind of in a relationship. We know that there are going to be days where there's going to be misunderstandings. There are going to be days where things feel off. There will be days where we just can't seem to communicate. You know, where we're not catching each other's vibe really, right? So if we're aware of this and we know that that's part of the path, then I think it gives us that encouragement that we need, because it's kind of like, well, it's like when you hear that cliche about a couple that never argues. There's something wrong there, right? So it's kind of like if we have a life where there is no defeat, there is no disappointment, there is no challenge, there is no sadness, there is no friction, then are we really doing anything? Are we really like making any kind of progress toward our goal? Or are we just imagining that we're getting closer to our star, but no matter what we do, it stays this far away? This is you traveling the path, getting closer and closer to your star. Yeah. I hope that makes sense. We're going to do an extended reading. We'll do an Jing reading. We'll do some oracle cards. There's a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Scorpio Wednesday and Saturday. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is free. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.